welcome to Knit One, Heart
2.
Episode
172.
Okay, I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wendy. And if you're a returning viewer, thanks for tuning back in. And if you're a new viewer, thank you for checking us out.
We always appreciate it.
We do. We do have a few shout outs. You want to show that off?
So, some kind and generous viewer donated yarn to us last week for the shawl charity knit along that we're doing that ends this month in August.
Mm-hmm. End of August.
It's all going to Lise, who works for Webs, and she's going to distribute the shawls in her community through there. So
her church, and she says the shawls are very appreciated. The people that get them are.
The generous donor told us what she was sending, and she sent it, and this is what it is. It's Into the World, the March 2014 Yarn Club called What's This? What's this? What's this? Oh, that's pretty.
It's gorgeous.
Sorry about the bag, but we just want to keep it in the bag.
Yeah, so. It's beautiful.
Really
I think it will knit up beautifully.
I'm jealous.
It's on BFL nylon sock yarn.
This would be great for Halloween because it's got orange, purples, and greens.
Well, and
witch's brew and
I'm not 100% sure because I wasn't in the club at that time. But What's This sounds like I was saying to Sheila, one of the songs from Nightmare Before Christmas. So I don't know if that was an inspiration for this or if it's something else, but it is so pretty.
It is really pretty.
And it would work for fall or Halloween socks or just any really pretty socks.
So we're adding that to the list of prizes for the contest. That runs through the end of August, which is coming soon because it's already the 15th.
Just to update you, I'm keeping track in the group, but the prizes are now a gift card, a $50 gift card to Webs. Or 2 people can win a custom dyed skein of Webs yarn dyed by Lorna's Laces. Or you can win a skein of Wool Mize. Or you can win a pattern. I just had, what did I just say that pattern was?
I'm sorry. I'm trying. Where are the prizes lists?
It's up here. Knit Design. I knew it was Knit. You can win any of Knit Design's patterns. And now you can get this skein of Into the World.
We still have one more on the way.
And we have one from Knit Run Dig. It's going to be yarn, a bag, and stitch markers.
Yes. So that's a lot of prizes.
So that's a lot of prizes, people. And I did get a big bag of donations there in my car.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, great.
When I was at Fiber Revival this weekend.
Oh, good. So we have, I hope they posted pictures.
She didn't, but I think I'm going to post them for her because she just had them so that she has a chance because I just feel bad. She gave me a big bag of stuff.
We have 87 give or take pictures already in there. So
Yay!
That's a good amount. We really appreciate it.
We do. And the people who get them are so delighted to get them.
And they're absolutely gorgeous shawls.
I know. I should have a charity for me. Send me your shawls. I still have to get mine, but I'm gonna.
And I was thinking about one actually today because I was walking by and somebody had a shawl on their bed, and I was thinking about the 2 that were given to me. I'd have to talk to my husband about what his thoughts are because they're really nice prayer shawls.
Yeah.
If they're just sitting there, it's not really doing anyone any good.
Exactly.
So we'll see. Also, a reminder that we are doing the August Stash Down Knit Along Crochet Along, and that thread was posted last week. And I think we already have 20 or so pictures on that one. That, again, goes through the end of August.
It does, and you can use stash busting yarn and be in that contest and make a shawl that you donate and be in that contest. So you could be in 2 contests
double, triple,
with one thing.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to Betty for Fiber. Betty for Fiber, I still have not emailed your name to Cooperative Press for your PDF that you won last week, Mitered Square book. And I'll explain more during Crushes and Heartbreaks, but I wasn't able to use my internet for like 3 days. So that's why. And I'm going to do the winner, who we're going to draw at the end of this show, of the Mystic Shawl book and yours. I'm going to send them in the same email as soon as we get done recording. And then we are also doing a new book review this week for the pattern Bigfoot Knits at the end of the show. This is what the book cover looks like. And we will be having a contest for that PDF. And don't forget, last week I mentioned the When a Court and Cowl by Coggy of High Fiber Diet. Carrie Weimer.
Is that next week?
That's going to be drawn as a winner next week. So if you haven't already, go to the thread and get in that contest.
Yay!
So that's all the shout outs. What's on the needles? What is on the needles?
You
Not
first
a
today.
whole heck of a lot. I am first today. I did work on my mittens. So, as you know, one finished mitten. Cannot wait to wear these. They're so soft. I can't believe I spun this yarn and it feels so soft. I don't know why I think that's so amazing, but I just do. I did actually get quite a bit done. So I'm up to the increase for the thumb. And this one, the contrast is much clearer. You can see at the beginning of this one, I was a little nervous. And but this one, the contrast is pretty clear. So you can see a lot more of the pattern, which is nice. And I had a bit more done, but I had a little incident where I forgot. There's, I'll show you on this one. There's like a little design here where it's like all one color and then they change in the middle. At some point, I didn't make the little straight across line at the right point, and then I realized it about 4 rows later because I was trying to figure out where I was on the chart, and I was like, hey, what's going on here? So I was going to leave it, and then I just ripped it out because I couldn't take it anymore. So that's what happened with that. But, yep, here it is. I still have, you can see, I had ripped out a lot of yarn. That's why it's lagging.
The only thing I dislike about when you're knitting with 2 yarns is when you have to rip back for some reason.
It's a lot of yarn. It's, yeah, you can see this is all that I knit most of it back. But I still have quite a bit of this yarn left.
That's good.
So
maybe you can make a coordinating cowl or something.
I don't think I'm going to have enough for that, but I might be able to do a headband.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see. But, yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I loved doing the spinning for it, and I love knitting it. And that's a good thing because, honestly, all last week, this is the only thing that I knit. I knit probably about 3 inches, and then I ripped out, like, 2, and then knit most of it back. So that's on the needles. And it's in my winter gnome bag so that it reminds me of winter. Because well, actually, it hasn't even been that warm here.
It hasn't been. It's been one of the coolest summers in a long time, they said.
This is swiftly turning into a project of shame. This is my beautiful Starleaf shawl by Jenny Johnson Jonan. Oh, I forgot to mention, that was in Port Fiber Polworth in the Prickly Pear colorway that I had stripped the colors out. I took all the warms and the cools apart on the braid of fiber, spun them separately, and made those 2 skeins of yarn. This Starleaf shawl is on fleece. Why can I never remember the name of this yarn? I have to look every time. Fleece Artist Saldana 2 lace in the Stardust colorway. I don't know why. I can't remember that. I'll start making up a name for it like I did with that Diabolical colorway. I keep thinking it's the Starlight colorway. No. Stardust. And it's beaded. And I just have not been in lace knitting mode. And I think it is a product of how busy I've been doing other things that when I take a break, I need to have something I can just pick up and knit on.
And the fact that you've already knit that once.
Well, yeah, but that makes me enjoy it more because there's no surprises. But it seriously is right now because of everything that's going on at my house and in my life. That is, it's too complicated for me to pick up and work on. And then, last but not least, we still have Rita the Alien, who will someday become Rita the Rabbit. I have done nothing on Rita the Rabbit, but I got some good news today. So you know how I told you that they were doing my niece's birthday a month early?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought that, because it is at the end of September when her actual birthday is. So I have like an extra month and a half to work on this. Woohoo! So I was going to try to finish it up the other night, but for a number of reasons I did not. So that's all I have active on the needles, and I am barely doing anything on any of it. Sorry,
right.
my knitting mojo is at an all-time low right now.
It happens sometimes.
It does.
We've all been there. So I still have the same projects on my needles. I'm going to show you this one first because I've actually made some nice progress to it. The City Creek Cowl by Susan Lawrence. I'm doing this out of Mad Tosh Vintage in the Blue Nile colorway. So it's a cable, and supposedly people ran out of yarn on this. I don't know how, because I'm almost done with the repeats that I think I want to do.
Maybe your gauge is just a teeny bit tighter than other people's gauge or something.
Maybe. I tried this on and it fits nice, but I still have quite a bit. I mean, granted, I still have one more repeat of the cable to go, and then 1.5 inches of ribbing, maybe? So who knows? I might be tight on this.
Maybe I'll run out.
No, I won't run out. I don't think I'll run out.
in.
No. As long as I finish the cable part, I think
it'll be fine.
I did try this on, and this fits fine. It's going to fit fine.
I wish you could see the true color.
The true color is just, it's not.
We do not have natural sunlight coming in today because it is kind of cloudy.
It's really a pretty color.
It's much more turquoisey with some deep blue, like, pops and overtones, and it's really beautiful.
Really nice and soft and squishy. So, I'm almost done. This is a free pattern. So you have the one cable, then you alternate and goes up in the middle, and then you go back. And I think you can do, I don't know how many repeats it tells you to do. I'm only going to do the one chart. It says work rounds 1 through 4, chart once, and then 16 through 45. And I don't want to do that. So basically you would have 2 full repeats of the cables.
Right.
So you'd have this, then this,
then that,
and then again. That, and that again. And that, this already is long. You know what I mean?
You don't need it to be any higher than that.
Otherwise I'd feel like, you know, the high collared ones from Wendy.
Or it'd just bunch right here, and
you wouldn't see the cable.
Yeah.
So this is coming along. Like I said, I'm almost done. I was trying to crank it out last night. If I had maybe worked 2 nights in a row on it instead of one. Cute. Somebody gave me those.
Gingy.
Instead of the one, I probably would have been able to do it.
Cool.
So my other knit in process has a sad story to it. It's my sock.
I got a text about this. I was like, what? Why?
So this is my sock out of Miss Babs. This is not the second sock.
No.
So last week I was telling you how I did the cable and I was doing it up on my own. Just a 2x2 cable going up on the side. I had turned the heel.
Tell them the reason why you were doing the cable.
Because I thought I needed to bring in some stitches a little bit. I thought it was going to be too loose. Well, apparently 2x2 cable pulls in a lot more than you really thought. It wasn't tight on the foot, and I think if I did a different heel, it would have been fine. But I don't have enough yarn to do a different heel. That's the reason why I chose. I was doing the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and it was too tight across the top. I'm sure it would have been fine, but I don't like thinking that my socks are too tight. I made them for me. I want them comfortable. So I was maybe this much into the cuff after the heel. I ripped it all out. But it's good yarn.
And she ripped out the cable because
I ripped out the
clearly
cable.
The cable is not working.
I ripped the cable all the way out to here. So I didn't rip the whole sock out. And here's the blue. I just tied a knot into it.
Yeah.
So that I wouldn't lose it. But because I'll use the same heel. It's not. Yeah. That's not going to change. So I'm back to square one. I've actually knit maybe another inch since I ripped it out. I don't know when I ripped it out. When did I text you? I don't know. I texted her earlier this week.
It was probably one of the days when my phone didn't work, I'm sure.
That I ripped it out. I was working on it at work, but I have a feeling there's some people who may not like me working on my socks or knitting at work. I think that's mostly
You texted me about this on... Well, we talked for quite a while. Tuesday.
Okay. So Tuesday, I knit a little bit more, and this is where it is right now. The last couple of days at work, I didn't knit on this. I was sitting for break with a couple of guys, and I think they feel uncomfortable when I do it. I don't know. I was talking anyway.
Were you waving their needles in their eyes or near their private area?
I think what it might
Why would that make you uncomfortable?
I don't know. I think what it is it draws too much attention because I get a lot of people asking me questions and maybe they just want to relax. So I don't think I'm working with them next week. But today I worked mostly on this because I really was trying to finish this. So plugging along. This may get put to the wayside just because after I finish this, I'm going to cast on for my fingerless mittens with the green.
Yay! So, that'll be good. You've been waiting for a couple of years to use that yarn.
I have been, and the only reason I jumped into this first is because I really enjoyed the color.
And you needed a big.
I did. And the fingerless mitts I think they're worsted, so it will be on size 5s, which is still bigger. And I got 2 skeins, so I got a lot of yarn to figure out what to do with on that one.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see. That's all I have on the needles.
Let's see.
Whirlwind or future?
No, it's rate your date. I have no dates to rate.
I have nothing. Tomorrow. Next week I hope to.
Future dates. No.
Whirlwind
romance. I have a whirlwind romance because.
So I.
I'm like, what? I almost passed out from stopping my breath. So one of the things that I have had set up is my travel wheel, my sidekick. I pulled it out because I went to Fiber Revival this weekend and I have it in my living room, and I actually realized it's better to have this one out because it's so low profile that I can easily tuck it out of the way.
Oh, good.
So I finished. I've told you before I'm blending 5 different fibers to make a color project. I'm doing 2 plies that are navy blue bumps that I had randomly put together. Just solid navy blue, semi-solid, I guess. And then the other ply is Frabjous Fibers and Into the World in sort of it's almost like a rainbow color, but they're kind of muted. There's not red or anything. It's more yellow, purple, and green. So I had spun a bunch of singles, 2 navy blue and 1 multi, and this is how it just came off the wheel this morning.
It'll be interesting to see how that knits up.
Yeah, it looks really nice and small and smooth right now, but it will get puffier after I finish it. This is not finished yarn. You can tell these singles were more active.
Oh, so you haven't thwacked it?
I haven't soaked it and thwacked it yet. I think it's going to be really pretty knit up. I think it reminds me of an LL Bean rag sweater, which is in my head how it was going to go.
Okay, yeah.
But the colors are like this muted rainbow situation. Oh, what did I just do? Okay, that goes to this one. I forgot. I have my little cards.
On the yardage? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's the yardage so that I know. I don't know how many ounces this is, but each skein, well, I don't know. It was around 180 turns on my skein winder, which is 58 inches. So I have to do math to figure out. It's more than 180 yards, let's put it that way. So, and it's going to puff up quite a bit. It's going to be very lofty, but lightweight. So I think it'll make a really nice sweater yarn. And back when I was in high school, there was a sweater that everybody had because it was back in the preppy days. Mm-hmm. I'm a little bit older than Sheila, so you might not remember.
Not by much.
4 years older than
How old are you?
47.
Yeah,
5 years old?
3.
3 years, okay. Well, anyway, the preppy phase was high when I was in high school, and everybody had an LL Bean rag sweater that was gray and white or brown and white.
And is that the one that had the yoke like this with the buttons?
No, that was a Fair Isle. This was just a plain...
No. It had that kind of weird yoke that kind of went like this.
Oh, no, it was just a crew neck sweater. Most people, or they had a V-neck version. It was just a plain sweater. Most of them were crew neck, though. And it was kind of speckled, brown and white, or gray and white, depending on which one you have. I still have one upstairs somewhere from high school, because when LL Bean makes a sweater, it lasts for the rest of your life. I have my boots from LL Bean that I got from high school, too. Yep, still the original pair. Those things never die.
Do they fit?
Not since my second baby.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I might not have them anymore, but I had them like into adulthood. I wore them into adulthood, but I think my shoe size went up after I had my kids because I have different boots now. But anyway, I think this is gonna knit up like a rag sweater, but it will just be. I know I keep dropping the card. It will just be multicolored areas. I'm thinking stripes of multicolor, but I don't know how long color runs are going to be, so I'm excited. We'll never know until I start knitting the sweater. It is not going to be my Rhinebeck sweater. I know some people ask me that. My Rhinebeck sweater is actually the hero sweater that I knit last Christmas. Because if you've watched for any length of time, you know that I knit my Rhinebeck sweater like a year in advance so that I don't have to be rushing at the end. So
I know I start seeing everybody with their Rhinebeck sweaters and like every year I do. Do I want to do one? Do I want to do one? As much as I want to.
My sweater knitting mojo is at its peak in September through February.
Yeah.
So any Rhinebeck sweater that I have for next year is going to be knit during that time period. So that's this 2 skeins done. These are my little cards that I write all my info on. I haven't attached them yet because these haven't soaked or been thwacked. And I have a 3rd skein that's ready to be wound off. So I've done 3 skeins, and I could probably get part of a 4th skein off of my singles, but I think I'm just going to add more and spin those out again. So I'm thinking I probably have like 500 to 700 yards already.
How many do you need?
In worsted weight, roughly 2,000 yards. So I'm like almost halfway done, give or take. Like if I have 4, it'll probably be 8 skeins. So I have about 3 skeins finished. So I need 7 more skeins. I guess I'm 2/3 of the way done. But it's good, and I've been glad to spin on Gordo, my sidekick. I love him so much. He is just. He's like my son, who's my easy child, and Gordo is my easy spinning wheel. He never has any problems, except when I threw away that piece. But I have a new piece that they sent me, so he just spins, and I don't have to mess with him. I think if I had to get rid of one of my wheels, it would probably be my bug, and I would just keep Gordo. So, but I like my bug too. Although, I don't know, maybe I'll get rid of my bug and buy a mini spinner since everybody is telling me how wonderful they are.
What, the electric ones?
I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about the electric one. It doesn't seem like spinning if you don't have to move your feet. I know it is, but in my head it seems weird. So anyway, that's it for my Whirlwind Romance. And Sheila does not have one. And my future dates. I am going to knit a sweater out of sock yarn weight sometime soon.
Are you nuts?
No, it's called Hitafude, and a lot of people have done it. I don't have it to pull up. I bought the pattern this week. It's kind of like that red sweater that I made, the Brooklyn Tweed one that was a nightmare. Only it's fingering weight, and people have knit it, and it's not a nightmare. So it's knit like in one big piece or something. I don't really know. I didn't look at the pattern yet. I just bought it. The thing I loved about the pattern is it's by a Japanese designer. Hitafude means brush stroke, I guess.
There you go.
And it was 2,000 yen, so it was like $2. And for a sweater pattern, that, my friends, is good value for money. So yeah, that's my future date. I don't know when that's ever going to start because I really do need to address some of my whips before I cast on a sweater. But I might cast that on before Rhinebeck. That might be...
Your next year's Rhinebeck?
No, my next year's Rhinebeck sweater is going to be this.
Oh, all right.
So, this hand-spun one. But I probably won't have all that yarn done before Rhinebeck, but I might cast this on when the weather gets colder. So...
Future dates, I have probably fingerless mitts that I've talked about with some green yarn that I can't think of what it's.
It's
Rabbit Farm? No.
American Rabbit. Woolen Rabbit.
Woolen Rabbit. There
American
we go.
Rabbit. That That's the poor woman, too, that I told her I kept calling that color that she makes Nantucket Red. But that's not what it's called at all. It's called something else.
The Woolen Rabbit Cashmere, which is 80% merino, 10% nylon, and 10% cashmere. I have 2 skeins of it, which is about 350 yards. I can show you it, but it's not really going to be a good picture.
It's very green. Foresty green. It's pretty.
It is pretty. So I'm planning on making fingerless mitts and, I don't know, something for my head.
Like a headband, we were thinking, right? I think.
We'll see, because I'm sure that will be ripped out. Not the fingerless mitts, the headband. Cause I'm
telling you right now.
That's the way I roll, and that's worsted weight. So.
I'm telling you right now, don't even make a hat. Like, don't even try to make a hat. I would try a headband.
Although, one of those, no. You know how, like, the pillbox style hats look decent on me?
Yes.
Do something like that. If I have any yarn with this, those 2 colors would probably
look really pretty together.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But the fingerless mitts are going to come first because those are easy.
But if I even see you knitting a normal toe cat out of that, I'm going to have to slap you because we know it's just going to get ripped out.
Yeah, it would. And actually, a lot of people have done headbands with the yarn. So that's what I'll do. That's my future date.
Cool. Let's see. Baubles and Bling, because I'm trying to keep all the knitting together. I have Baubles and Bling.
Do you?
I do. So I just flashed this briefly, but while I was at Fiber Revival this weekend, I visited my friend Josette from Enchanted Knoll Farm, who I had not seen since Rhinebeck in person. I've talked to her, but I hadn't seen her. So it was nice to catch up with her, but also I picked up 4 skeins of Margaritaville on her superwash sock yarn. I love the color of this yarn so much that it's like, it's disgusting how much I love it. I have 4 skeins. They're 435 yards per skein, which is pretty good yardage. So I have more than enough to knit Hitafude with it, and that's what I look through a bunch of patterns. I like it because it's in one of those, it's like the red sweater in that you can just throw it on. It's an easy cardigan. There's no buttonholes or structure, and it's lightweight, and it's the kind of thing that I wear all the time at home or when we go out to a restaurant. And I just love this. I already have a heavy winter sweater out of a color that's very similar to this because I am a sucker for this color. This reminds me of like real brand new spring grass. I just love it. And Josette is some kind of a wizard when it comes to color making. I was thinking I might call her up. I bought every single skein she had at the booth at the festival. I had like the grabby hands. Woo! I wasn't going to buy any yarn at the festival, but when I saw this, there was no stopping me. I would have trampled people to get it. So thank you, Josette, for dyeing such a wonderful color. Enchanted Knoll Farm. You can find her on Etsy if you're interested. I also picked up a few more of my Notions bags.
How many do you have now?
A lot.
Yeah.
I have enough to go in every single bag that I own, pretty much. But I got some more bags, so I needed to get some more.
Oh, okay.
Plus, I found some bags upstairs when I was cleaning out my room. So I got these ones. I love them. This one is a lady on a moped and also riding a bike with baguettes. And inside is Ciao Bella. And it says something about Primavera. So I guess apparently this is Italian because it says Roma in there too. It's words. So I got that one. And I got this one. It's the Firefly print. It has fireflies and little firefly jar. And on the inside, it's the night sky from the firefly pattern that coordinates with this. I thought that was just really pretty. I love those colors. Then I got the moth. These are moths, a bunch of different moths. And the inside is pinstripes.
Sorry, I'm doing some cabling right now.
And then I got sushi, because look how happy and cute this sushi is. Hello, take me home is a Notions bag. And inside it has shrimp.
Oh, cute.
So it can go with my seafood-themed bags. Because I try to think ahead when I buy these so that I can match them up. So, yeah, I got these 3 more thanks to Jess of Stitched by Jessalu. Love them. And that's all I got at Fiber Revival. So these I knew I was going to pick up because whenever I see Jess, if she has anything that I don't have, I always pick them up. Because I know if I don't end up using them in a bag, they'd make a great gift for a knitter.
True.
So, they're like good to have around. But this was a total like impulse buy because it's so pretty. So, how about you, Baubles and Bling?
No, I've got no Baubles and Bling.
Oh, I forgot I have another one. I got this month's club from Hello Yarn. The colorway is called Headbanger, and it's on BFL wool.
It's pretty.
I really like it. Actually, Diane wasn't in love with this color, so this might be one that I asked her to trade with me for something that I don't like. It's got golds and aqua and orange, and I just think it's really pretty. Some greens. And it's BFL. BFL is a joy to spin. So that was a nice... We were just talking, though. We think we might not keep the club again. Well, both of us have quite a bit of backlog. That's the problem with clubs. I just don't spin enough to get a bump every month. I need to be in a club where I get a bump like every 3 months. That would be the club that I need to be in. But this is Hello Yarn is the name, and I've loved everything that I've gotten from her club so far. So if you can get into her club, you should try. I think there's a waiting list, but it's worth it. So that's it for Baubles and Bling. Crushes and Heartbreaks. So I was telling Sheila, I have had the most frustrating week. I feel like I have been in rage mode all week long. And it started, I can't remember what happened on Monday that was frustrating, but there was a frustrating thing on Monday that I don't remember now. On Tuesday, right after I got up on Tuesday morning, the power in my house went out. And I called the power company, and there was an outage that affected 103 homes in my town.
Wow.
And I called them at 9. I reported it at 9 a.m. That was when I finally got in touch with them. Because it takes a little while to find the phone number that you're supposed to call to when you have to look it up on your phone instead of the internet because you have no power. So when I had no power, fortunately it wasn't that warm that day. It means I have no air conditioning. My refrigerator doesn't work. My TV doesn't work. My Wi-Fi doesn't work. Like I had no electricity. And I couldn't do the laundry that I planned to do, and I needed to vacuum because it was bad. Like there was cat hair. Finally, at 4:30, after having a crew out down the street for like 4.5 hours, they finally got the electricity back on. Whatever was wrong must have been a major deal.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I was like, ugh, thank goodness. And my husband, of course, left before the power went out and came home after it was back on, so he missed everything. So I had some stuff that I've been trying to do on the internet. I mentioned before, I am trying to move all of our files off of Blip, which is no longer going to host us as of September 1, and onto archive.org, which I'm using for streaming hosting. And I'm also putting everything on YouTube now so that I just have a public storage of it. And that's one of the reasons why my knitting mojo is so low, because I have to keep downloading things. I can do something for like half an hour, and then I have to go back to the computer. And it takes me, to get 10 done, takes me about a day. And I still have like 100 left to move. It's a lot of work. And I don't mind doing it. It'll be worth it in the end, but it's a lot of work, and it just sucks my time. Well, I couldn't do that at all on Tuesday. And I took the whole week off from it, when I was in Maine.
Right.
And I need to get it done in the next couple of weeks. So I get the thing out, and I start working on it, and then I'm doing something else, and I'm watching cable TV, and I suddenly noticed that I lost Wi-Fi service on my computer. And so I said, sometimes my computer just stops talking to the router, so I went and I reset the router. That didn't fix it. Then I noticed, and my phone is dead. It says offline on the phone. So I said, Jim, I think something's wrong with our internet service. We have cable, but we have no phone and no computer. And so he's trying to figure it out. And then my cable dies. So now I have electricity, but I have no cable, no Wi-Fi, and no phone again. So it turns out, after all of this, that our box had blown.
Probably from the power outage.
The power source in our box got screwed, and there was enough backup battery to run things for like an hour, and then it slowly like dropped all the services off, and I guess cable took the least power. So by now it's like 10 p.m. and Jim's been on the phone. Jim was on the phone for like more than an hour trying to talk to somebody and resolve this. So they said they're sending a guy out on Wednesday at 4. The guy ended up showing up early.
Okay.
And he had to replace the whole unit downstairs because it was dead. And he was very nice. And at the end of it, they always trying to sell you something. And they had reviewed my contract, and they said I was paying $10 more a month for my bundle services than if I took a new offer that they had. So I had to sign up for a 2-year contract, which I don't mind because we're not going back to Comcast after we had a nightmare with Comcast for many years, and now we're with Verizon. And the only way I could get this is if I got free cable for a year, a free HBO for a year. And I was like, I don't really want HBO. And she's like, I know, but it's like all a thing if you want to get this price. So now I have free HBO, and I had to put a notification in my phone to remind me to cancel it in July of 2015, because if I don't, it'll be $20 a month after. That's how they get you. I was like, I don't want it. And she's like, well, I guess you could just cancel it now. And I'm like, well, if I'm getting it, it's like a $20 service I'm getting free. So I was like, I'll just keep it. And I don't know. So that was very frustrating. And then yesterday just continued with the frustration of trying to get everything done that I couldn't get done on Monday and Tuesday because I was stuck with the no electricity, and then the guy, I don't know, it just, I really thought I was going to lose it. And it's just been nothing big, no crisis,
Just an annoyance.
First world problems, but just so annoying, and it just enrages me when you have somebody that provides you a service and you cannot talk to a person. So that was my heartbreak. My crush is that I got to meet Amelia, who's one of our viewers, at Fiber Festival, and she ended up knowing everybody that I know.
Oh, really?
She's friends with Diane.
No way.
Kelly, yeah, like she randomly she knows Jess. She like knows all these people that I know, and it was just really, it was kind of awesome. And she gave me a big bag of donations and cookies. So
oh, good.
A++ would do again.
That's good.
So that's my crushes and heartbreaks.
My crushes and heartbreaks. My husband's been home all week. That's questioning whether it's a crush or a heartbreak or somewhere in between.
I think.
Start off with the weekend. My father left Monday to go back to China. He's back in China. We had a great lobster clam bake on Saturday. It was fun. I feel bad because I saw him Saturday, and Sunday I had to work. I didn't get a chance to call him, and when I called him on Monday morning, I think I called him at about 7:30. He might have already been in the airport, so I felt bad that I didn't get to talk to him. So my husband's been home. I come home Monday to them to smelling paint fumes. So my husband had talked about repainting the boys' room. So we had it like a blue, really nice blue. But we still had cows and stuff borders on it, like really young borders. So they picked out colors, and my husband was going to paint it. I said, make sure you do it right, fix the crack. He didn't fix the crack. Take off the border. He took off the border, but he didn't do it right, so it's got the paper backing on it. Picked a color. I think Zachary picked a color very similar to this. It's a turquoise. It's very pretty. Very pretty.
Isn't it dark?
Maybe a little brighter than this. I don't know. And my son picked orange. So they're telling me this, and I said, blue and orange. I said, that's the Miami Dolphins color. No, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that. Yes, it does. I didn't take a picture. I should have taken a picture.
At least they both got what they wanted.
So they drew a line in the middle of the room. I'm like, oh my God. Because my boys share a room. And now my husband was going to have them put handprints on it. I'm like...
At least you're not trying to put your house on the market.
No, yeah. No, this was just to appease the boys.
That would not be neutral.
Because when they turn 18 and move out of the house, that we're going to be doing it again. Actually, I'll probably pay someone to do it right. My husband is the adage of doing it himself, where it comes into penny wise, pound foolish.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my husband. He spends more money to save money. That's really basically what it comes into. So he started on Monday. Tuesday I was there. I'm like, I am not getting involved in this whatsoever. So normally when I come home from work, I kind of like to decompress. I wasn't able to decompress this week. But actually, no, he didn't keep me too busy. So I've done some laundry. I've caught up with all my laundry. Tuesday, I'm like, I'm not going up there. I'm not helping him paint. This was his headache, not mine. So Tuesday, I just enjoyed my day off because it was a day off for me from work for working over the weekend. Wednesday, Thursday, paint. I'm like, really? So Monday was the primer to go over the dark blue.
Yeah.
Understandable. It would be nice if it was to fix some of the other stuff, but that's beside the point. Tuesday and Wednesday was painting. Yesterday was painting. I'm like, are you done yet? Because the problem is they moved all the furniture into our bedroom.
Yeah.
And I have been sharing my bed with two fairly large boys in a king-size bed while my husband has slept downstairs. My son Zachary is not the most peaceful of sleepers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, when do we get our bed back? He goes, well, I got to do this, I got to do that. I'm like, oh. So last night he's talking about, I want to rip the paneling off tomorrow for the kitchen. I said, no, you are not to touch the kitchen until the boys' bedroom is completely done, which means furniture back in place. You are not to touch the bedroom or the kitchen. He's off all next week too, so I may have a gun in my head by then.
Now I know why you wanted to film over here today.
Yeah, so we went to Lowe's. We had to fix some fixtures and penny wise, pound foolish. Yeah. That's all I can say.
My husband and I do a lot of stuff ourselves, but we know when. We know when we have to hire somebody.
If it was done correctly, like all he had to do was the day he primed, he could have just taken early morning, taken some wallpaper remover, sprayed it, or done whatever. Just a little elbow grease could have probably worked.
And I would have come over and fixed your crack. That sounds weird. I would have come over and fixed Cam's crack for him.
That sounds even weirder.
He would never have called me for help, though.
God, no. And heaven forbid you're there when I'm not there, for Pete's sakes. Please. And the guy would know what to do. If I knew he wasn't going to do it the correct way, I would have fixed the crack.
I know.
Like, oh my God. Nowadays, they usually have like one little thing you can buy. You don't even have to buy the whole thing. It's just like one little package thing.
Yeah, and they have like little tiny tubs of stuff, and you just... there was a huge crack in my entryway that I used
the tape.
And
that's what I wanted him to do.
Over it, so that when it cracks again, because it won't show through the fix.
Yeah, so I'll have to do it right the next time.
That's a pain.
But, so yeah, that's been our week. I'm trying to think what else. I think that's pretty much it. Work has been work.
I realized the reason why I didn't vacuum last week was not because last week I was in Maine. Last week was the week that all my furniture was in the dining room. And because I had the new floors in. I don't know. It's just, I feel like I have lived an entire lifetime in the last 2 weeks because everything in my house has just been disorganized and was finally all back in place. And then, then this week has been more like aggravation.
I'm trying to think, there was something else going on. And we had an issue with our, sorry. I just kicked a kitty. I didn't realize. Sorry.
Oh, the other heartbreak is Maggie has started randomly peeing. So my cat, my 18-year-old cat, I think she's
that's not
nearing
good.
A stage when she's going to have to go to the vet.
Not good,
started yesterday.
Good.
She hasn't done it again today. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe she had a seizure and she just forgot where the litter box was. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's all for my crushes and heartbreaks.
We're going to do our book review. We're reviewing today Bigfoot Socks. Oh, what am I doing?
I don't know.
I have an iPhone where I can just put my finger on the button and it automatically turns on.
Your mini iPad does not.
My mini iPad does not have that technology, but I keep forgetting now, and I will sit there for like sometimes up to a minute with my finger waiting for it to turn on before I realize that I can't do it that way. This is called Bigfoot Knits by Andy Smith, published by Cooperative Press, and it's a pretty cool book. It's for people who have. It's for people. It's for any people, but she wrote it because the two standard sock sizes that they make, which is usually 64 and 72.
Don't always fit everybody's
foot or calf. And she says, there are people with bigger feet, and there are also people with weirder feet, with wider feet.
I have weird feet too, but
Sheila has really wide at the top part and narrow towards the back. She just has, her feet are just shaped, everybody's feet are shaped differently. And when you read this book, it really explains in exhaustive detail how to make a custom size sock. The first 56 pages of the book deal with how to measure your foot to create your own specific measurement chart, how to check, like swatch for gauge and figure out how many stitches to use, including negative ease, because socks should have a little negative ease so that they don't wear as fast. They wear better if they fit better. There's a whole section on what kind of shaping to use, what kind of increases, whether to do a short decrease or a long decrease, and why you would do that. There's a whole section on how to knit a cuff, different types of cuffs, how to figure out the best cuff for your leg. There's a whole section on heels, including how your heel is shaped. Some people have narrow heels, some people have big heels. Some people have short heels. They have a whole section on toes to give you several different toe options that fit your foot best. And then at the end of that, how to take any pattern and modify it to put it onto a plain sock. So that's like 56 pages of just tutorials, instructions. They have a worksheet for every single thing. And then at the end, there's a big worksheet so that you can put together your perfect sock with all the techniques and things that you figured out. And so if you are the kind of person who really wants to have the perfect sock and to make every sock pattern that you use the perfect sock, this is a really good book for that. Then it has a bunch of really cute patterns. I think I mentioned this before.
The shoes are phenomenal.
They styled it with John Fluvog shoes, which I love Fluvog shoes.
I've never heard of John Fluvog shoes.
Oh, they were so popular when I was in college, and there was a Fluvog store in Boston. We used to go in and look at them all the time, but they're very pricey. But they're just really eccentric, beautiful shoes. And what I liked a lot about this, too, is that each of the patterns is named after a powerful woman in mythology. Like, there's like a Cherokee goddess mother figure. They have Roman, all across all cultures. So that was kind of cool. It's like empowering women.
Right.
So they do a bunch of textured socks. Here's one of them. I'm trying to navigate this using the table of contents. Here is another one. This one is very cable-y. It's pretty much quite an assortment of styles. There's cables. This one is got like a smaller pattern on it, a smaller eyelet lace type pattern. That's really cute. And the thing that I like too is each sock pattern has instructions on how to modify it so that there's a basic sock pattern, but you can learn how to change it so that you can work with your newly discovered foot measurements. That's another one that has like a smaller scale stitch pattern. Let's see. And the shoes, again, are just, like, this book is worth looking at just for the shoes. I like that one. It has little, like, crossover cables design on it. And they also feature the socks in some really pretty yarns. So I like the color story that they did. This is my favorite picture. It's my favorite shoe and my favorite sock. I love the color of the sock, and I love the shoe that they styled.
It's almost like an orange gradient.
I know, it's beautiful. And then here's one in a more multicolored tonal sock. It has little cables on the side. And I love how you can navigate from the page. Here's a stripy sock. So you're getting a lot of different looks, a lot of different types of yarn were used to give you a really good idea. I love that the shoes and the socks match in this one. And I love that they use a little eyelet cuff. The patterns also have a lot of different techniques, like the eyelet, that's not what I'm talking about. Picot.
Yeah,
it's a picot cuff. I'm just not with it today.
That's okay.
And then there's some longer socks, like this one is almost a knee sock. That one's pretty.
I would definitely have to change something on that one because I have very big calves.
Yeah, I think they tell you how to do that. So if you did have really wide calves at the top, because some people's legs are like skinny at the bottom and then go whoop, right where they're. These are pretty too. Oop. Oh, I keep pushing the thing on there. Those are really pretty too. So that's a lot of sock patterns, and they all have different styles and techniques. But again, in the first part of the book, you can put together, like if you like a certain cuff and you like a certain toe, you can put that into your final worksheet.
Mix and match.
To make your perfect vanilla sock, and then you can just learn how to customize patterns so that they go on that. And then at the end of the book, they have a big section on the different cast-ons and bind-offs that you would use if it was toe up or cuff down, so that you get a whole range of bind-offs. And they also have a section on how to take care of your socks. Nice. So it's a pretty thorough book. And Sheila and I were talking about it, and we think that you probably would like this book the best if you have some experience with sock knitting and you know most of the techniques.
Yeah.
If you're one of those people who likes to learn things from the bottom up, like you've never knit a sock before and you want to learn exactly like all the choices and how everything works, this would be a really good book. It's like almost like an encyclopedia of how to knit a sock. But it's a lot to take in if you're a new knitter. So I don't know if it would be good. It would be for a very adventurous new knitter.
Right.
Or new sock knitter. Probably a good idea to have a few socks under your belt before you move to this advanced level of sock designing. Because that's basically what this is teaching you to do, design your own sock. It's really cool, though. You know, if I ever knit another sock, I might, like, use some of the tips. And there's a really good resource of sock measurements. There's a chart of sock measurements that I will probably use for my tuck editing. I'll add them to my pool of measurements. Sorry. Can you not do that? Okay. Maybe in the bathroom with the door shut instead of right there.
1 second. But we're recording,
Honey,
Lily.
we're recording.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah, it's an interesting book, and if you want to win a copy of this, please tell me which socks you would knit from this book in the contest thread, and we'll draw a prize winner in 2 weeks. And thank you to Cooperative Press for letting us review this book. It's pretty amazing. When I love the way that it was styled, and I think it's for somebody like me who likes to like know all these different techniques and try different things out until I find the ones I like. This is a great resource. It's like encyclopedia of sock knitting.
It is. It's really nice. There's a lot of nice techniques in there that I would like to try and use because I'm always trying to find the perfect sock, and I think I've come close to it, but it certainly couldn't hurt to do. I like to do vanilla socks only because
I know.
It's a nice, mindless way of knitting.
And I really hate doing gusset increases. So I've been trying all these short row heels, and I really like Fish Lips Kiss heel. It fits my foot really well, but maybe I'll learn some tips from this book for the rest of it that make that heel fit me even better. I don't know. So it's a good book to, it's a good resource. So that was fun. I enjoyed looking at all the different Fluvog shoes too. If you're a Fluvog fan, you'll really like the pictures. So speaking of book reviews, we reviewed Mystic Shawls by Anna Delvey 2 weeks ago on the episode where I was in Maine, and we drew a winner today. Would you like to announce the winner,
Sure.
Sheila?
The winner is number 18, Enverlope, Enverlope, or Sarah.
It's her real name.
Is her real name. She liked the Mystic Lace Shawl.
Ice.
I'm sorry. Mystic Ice. My
hard to read my handwriting.
No, it's not. It's just I put an A where there is no A. So, Sarah, I will get in touch with you.
I will just give your name to Cooperative Press.
Yeah,
I have to give Betty for Fiber's name to Cooperative Press for the last prize because I forgot to do it last week.
So, thank you.
So, I will be doing that. Thank you for participating. And if you haven't joined all the contests that are going on, get to joining.
Yeah, we have a lot going on.
So, thanks again.
That's it, right?
Yep, that's it.
All right. Thank you for watching. Have a good week. Knit with Heart.
Bye.